Welcome to the Sports Card Talk Show. Sports Card Talk Show with Kevin Anderson and Lauren Walker, the Skull Brothers.
All right, welcome to episode 151 of the Sports Card Talk Show. Got a Friday Night Light interview tonight.
Tonight we have Shawn over at Fairweather Cards joining us. And he popped up on YouTube about 3 months ago, I think. So, he likes to break into Pokemon and some sports cards. So quite a variety for everybody.
Yeah. Really been, especially the last month, I guess, really been watching pretty much most of the episodes, I think.
The unfortunate thing is he is a Packer fan.
We don't need to talk about that. Although that might come in handy since I just pulled a Jordan Love Dominator, and I think we want a Dalvin Cook that he has.
Oh, yeah. He got that in the very first pack of his last video.
Yeah. So let's do a little quick trivia, and then we'll get him on the line, huh?
Yep.
All right. What Vikings receiver was named 2009 Offensive Rookie of the Year after catching 60 passes and returning 2 kicks for touchdowns?
Percy Harvin.
Yes. In 1958 to 59, what first overall draft pick and eventual Hall of Famer was named NBA Rookie of the Year after leading the Minneapolis Lakers to the NBA Final? This one's a little bit tougher.
I'm going to say Jerry West.
Elgin Baylor.
Oh.
What former Carolina Hurricanes captain signed a deal to join the Wild on July 1st, 2016?
Eric Stahl.
Yes. In 1971, what Vikings defensive lineman became the first He became the first defensive player to be named NFL MVP?
Alan Page.
Isn't it a coincidence that you just happen to have a stack of Alan Page rookie cards next to you?
Yeah, I've got quite a few of them over here.
I know you do. Awesome. Yeah, that basketball one was going to be tough because, I think everybody equates the Minneapolis Lakers to George Mikan.
I guess I didn't think Elgin Baylor was that old. He played all the way. I feel like he played was still playing almost in the 80s, but maybe he was done at the end of the 70s.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Well, should we dial Shawn up?
Yeah. Ring-a-ling ding dong.
All right, we got Shawn dialed up. How are you doing tonight, Shawn?
Good. How's it going, guys?
Doing great.
Doing really good. Glad to have you on finally. We've had you on the list, and we're like, man, we got to reach out, and something happened where you kind of challenged us, or maybe I took it as a challenge. I'm like, we'll do it. Come on the show. Let's do it.
It was a challenge.
Yeah. It opened the door right up, and I'm like, no better time than right now. So we're really glad that we could work it out, and you were able to come on.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate being here. I enjoy watching your guys' show, and this is a treat for me.
Good deal.
It's always a treat for us. So
always, yeah. So we really would like to we'd like to get into your collecting history, but why don't you talk about your show for a minute and kind of what you're doing, and this is going to come out after you go to your deal this weekend, but you can talk about what's coming up and all that fun stuff, and then we'll dive into your history.
You betcha. So, my content that I produce was kind of a collaboration with my daughter, who's 6. During the whole COVID outbreak, we were looking for things to do, and she really enjoys Pokemon cards. So it's just something that kind of brought us together, and we thought, why not? Let's just start ripping some packs on YouTube. And I've always been passionate about sports cards, and I've seen a lot of good people producing some really good content, and I thought this is just my opportunity that I can reach out and maybe meet some fellow collectors who have similar interests, and maybe trade and maybe just get to know the hobby, get back once again in the hobby. So I just started opening some packs, and I've been having fun ever since. So
awesome. Yeah, I really enjoy what you're doing there. So it's definitely get a chance. Check them out.
It's crazy that how Pokemon has spanned like a couple generations. My kid has a shoebox full of Pokemon cards, and I'm like, man, I wonder if any of those are worth any money. And the kid's like, Dad, I played with those so bad. You're not going to find
played with.
You're not going to find one in good shape. But
It's amazing, those Pokemon cards, and I never had any interest in little dragons or little, electric shooting animals, but it's just been fun watching my daughter get excited about them. And now I get my favorite little Pokemon, and we just have fun with it. Sports cards are my passion, but I'm having fun with the Pokies too. So
That's awesome. Yeah. And to put it in perspective, our kids our oldest kids are in their mid-20s, so it's spanned a lot of years there.
Yeah, our boys are almost 20 years older than your daughter.
So that's cool. Why don't we dive into your collecting history a little bit? I know we touched base on it. I'm excited for you to tell this. This is fun stuff.
Yeah, so I grew up during the junk wax era back in the 80s and 90s. And I started collecting at a young age, and I was really smart with my cards. I'm just going to say that I really paid attention to the players and how they were performing. Really paid attention to print runs, the little bit of information that you could find back there in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
And I sought after the key cards that people are paying huge bucks for today. It was kind of funny. I was collecting for several years, and was never really good at sports, and wasn't really good at school. So I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life after I graduated high school. But my parents were watching me go to these sports card shows. And I was going to the smaller shows, but I was also going to like the national. I was going to the NFL Experience Super Bowl show, setting up with some family that was doing those as well. And I was earning thousands of dollars selling cards. So my parents, here I am, just 18 years old, said, well, why don't you open a shop? And I was like, that's not a half bad idea. So I opened up a sports card shop, and I tell you what, it was rewarding. I loved doing what I was doing. This was in the mid 90s, and I was in a little resort town selling in Colorado. During the summertime, I could sell whatever at any price. During the wintertime, I was eating a lot of cardboard because we just didn't have the clientele coming in. There was a ski resort nearby. And, I was doing good, though. It was a profitable business, and I was enjoying what I was doing. But my passion has always been meteorology. I've always wanted to be a meteorologist. And, I just thought, I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to try to go get a meteorology degree. And that's what I did. So I sold off all my cards, sold off the business, went, paid for college, and became a meteorologist.
That's cool.
Now, so that's kind of to play a name, or play words with my name, fair weather cards. But even when I was in college and grad school, I always bought a pack here and there, just kind of kept up. And, I guess it's been within the last couple of years, I just really got passionate about cards again. And I was trying to find some of the cards that I sold off that I missed. So that's where I am here today, Mostly collect baseball cards and football, though I am dabbling into, like I said, some Pokemon and basketball and some hockey. But now it's no longer about trying to make money and sell out the big shows or my shop. It's just more about having fun and getting the players that I like to collect or the teams that I like to collect.
That's awesome. Were you going to ask a question?
Yeah. You say you live down in Nebraska and you're a meteorologist. So if, I can't remember if it was last summer or the summer before with that big eclipse that we had.
Sure.
And the reason I know that Nebraska was a great place to see this thing. So, so did you get good footage of that when that happened?
So you're going to laugh about this. So we were in the path of totality where I live. So, 100% eclipse. But part of my job up until a year ago was I would go out on wildland fires. In fact, I fought some fire up in Minnesota, of all places. But I would go provide weather support to those fires. So it just so happened during the eclipse, I was called out to a large fire out in Oregon. But we were in the path of totality there too, which is just crazy. So I didn't get any footage, but we did take an operational pause from managing the fire to go out and take a look at the eclipse. And we had our glasses on, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My wife and daughter made sure they went out and they saw the eclipse here. Really loved it. So
yeah,
I know that what I saw was I'm pretty sure Ozzy was doing his Bark at the Moon. He had a one-time show out in some cornfield, I think, in Nebraska. And you're looking at, so that's the only way I saw the eclipses in this video, because we had overcast skies up here, up in Minnesota, and it looked like the eyeball from in the sky from Lord of the Rings up there, whenever the moon, or I don't know which one crossed in front of the other, but yeah, it was crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
So, I know a couple nights ago, we were supposed to be able to see the Northern Lights here in Minnesota. And I actually was up at like midnight that night, and I walked to the end of the drive. I work out in the country, so I walked to the end of the driveway, and the trees, I could see the globe above the trees, but I couldn't see, that's all we have up here is trees.
Yeah, definitely. That was up in the Arrowhead region, with some fire, and you couldn't even see. I mean, that was some of the thickest forest I've ever seen in my life, or excuse me, up nearby, what is that, Ely?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you were up for whenever you said you were up in Minnesota for fires, I assumed you were up in the boundary water areas. Yeah. Because we've had it so bad. I know it was a couple summers ago, the smoke was coming down from up there so bad that you could smell it in the air, and we were 100 miles away from it.
Sure.
Remember that, don't you, Kev?
Oh, yeah.
And they told us that, it was bad breathing. And I've lived here for 20 years, and that was the first time I ever really felt like I was delivering newspapers at that time, and I run in the morning, and like my chest hurt from breathing that in all morning long.
Yeah,
definitely.
So you mentioned you have a show coming up. Are you setting up for the show?
I think I'm going to. I don't have near the collection that I used to have, but I have a few cards that I wouldn't mind parting with.
Sure.
To maybe help build my other interests. I've been getting into a lot of the vintage cards. And, I just picked up a really nice 54 Bowman Willie Mays the other day. And wow. I would like to get more cards like that.
Yeah.
I would love to get a Jim Brown rookie, but, his cards are getting way too expensive. So I've always liked Walter Payton, always thought he was a pretty good guy. So I wouldn't mind, coming across another one of his rookies. I think I'm going to set up at the show, and I'll try to grab some video and, share if anybody's interested in seeing it. So
heck yeah, I love those card show videos.
Yeah,
they're fun to watch and fun to see what other people go into.
It's kind of the market is the market, but there's a different market at card shows too. You can find some really good deals at card shows.
Sure,
some of those guys aren't. I think they know what's going on eBay and stuff, but they're not especially trying to get eBay prices because they're not selling on eBay. So I know that I got a 3 out of 5 Daniil Hunter at our cards show last year, and I got it for like $30, and the base card of it goes for like $30.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what about card shows around here. I like going to those smaller cities, because ours is once every 4 months. And a lot of these guys know if they don't sell it at this show, it's going to be sitting in a box, for 4 months. And that player, probably won't have the same popularity as, he did, 4 months ago. So you, like you said, you can get some spectacular deals.
Yeah. Kind of excited. We just got messaged by one of our friends on Instagram who lives down the road from us, asking if we're going to be at the show. Got another guy up in Hibbing that I think he's going to the show. I'm going to have to reach out to him, RDD.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
So we quite a few people that we message on IG and talk to are going to be there. So we're looking forward to it.
Right.
Might have to do a little content ourselves. Ours is another week away, but yeah.
Right on. I can't wait to see it. I think shows are some of my favorite content, to see.
Yeah, I think we might try and chat with Hawk too. Hawk is the guy that puts all the shows together in the Midwest here. So he's offered to do it before. So
yeah. Say, I'm trying to remember. Oh, you said Willie Mays. Was it graded, or are you gonna?
No, it's not graded. Or excuse me. Yes, this one was graded. It graded a PSA 4 just because of the centering on the back. It was arguably miscut on the back, but 4 really nice sharp corners and just a real sharp looking card, except for it being miscut. So, but I like the vintage. I really do. And, my PC guys are kind of oddballs. I don't know if you guys remember Ricky Waters back in the day, played for Notre Dame and the 49ers and Eagles. And I've always enjoyed collecting his cards. So him and Zach Greinke, he's kind of he's his own person, but I like that about him. And always loved Mutombo, Dikembe Mutombo.
You have some of his autos?
He's got the greatest auto, man.
It is awesome. It is awesome.
Especially when you get one where he always puts his jersey number on there, but if you can get the ones with the Hall of Fame on there too. Yep. Yeah, Kevin's got a really nice one. I've got a sticker auto one, and I keep on when I think to look for them, I'll look and I'm like, I don't want to pay that much for it. I don't want to, but I want to get a really nice on card of his signature.
I'm always looking for Mutombos. He's a neat person too. He's done so much humanitarian work, for the people in Africa, and just such a good person.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough in the, 80s or late 80s, well, probably early 90s. Took my nephew and his friend to a game, and we're from northern Minnesota. We go to the big city, and this isn't probably one of the first times I went down there with him, and he was still in high school. And like, we'll go to a game. We'll just go buy tickets. We bought tickets. We didn't even look at the tickets to make sure they were, we bought them on the street. I'm like, well, I guess we should have made sure that it was for tonight's game. It was courtside, but it's Denver against the T-Wolves. And it was Dikembe Mutombo, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, all those guys. And Dikembe walks up to the sideline in broken English, and my nephew just had a blast. It was awesome. Not my nephew, my cousin. I'm sorry, cousin E. But yeah, just speaking of him, it was just so much fun. And then yelling Rauf, there it is, when he hit a 3 back in the day. They're like, I think it's okay if we do that. I'm like, there's nobody in the stands. I don't think it matters.
Mahmoud, I love Mahmoud, and those Nuggets, Bryant Stith and LaFonso Ellis, and Jalen Rose for a while, Antonio McDyess. I was really following basketball back there in the 90s, and the Nuggets were my team back then. I really liked them, and they had a good year this year too. But not the same. That team back there in the early to mid 90s, that was fun.
Oh yeah, and of course we got to see the. That was so much fun. The things we used to do. Anyways,
you reminded me about something. I just, a first date that I took a girl on, we went to go see a Broncos game, and I bought scalp tickets not knowing, and my ticket was like on one side of the end zone, and hers was all the way across the other side.
Oh, that's good.
Well, when you're 18 years old or whatever it was, you don't think about those things. So
no. I was like, I'm not sure if we're supposed to be doing this, but we'll do it. And then we bought them quick and walked away. I'm like, I didn't even look to see if it was for tonight's game. Like, is it even for this year? I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So much fun.
That's funny.
Yeah, now that you got me talking about these darn card shows, I'm going to be looking for another Dikembe auto. This coming up one. Those things are so nice.
They are. They're good looking cards, and I love that Hall of Fame where he writes Hall of Fame 15. That is just that is special.
my perfect card of him too would be in the old Denver Nuggets uni with the old school ones. And those are hard to come. Like so many of his cards, he's in either Atlanta or Philadelphia uni too.
Yeah.
Or the late '90s Denver uni, which was still cool, but not as. I want to get him in a Denver uni for sure too.
Right.
The old school Denver uni. Yep.
Yeah.
The uniforms are like Dan Issel and Michael Adams. Those guys used to wear,
Pat Lever.
Pat Lever. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nuggets have always had pretty decent teams, but there's always a couple teams ahead of them in the West.
They just can't get over the hump, And this year I thought maybe they had a chance, but LeBron and Anthony Davis shut them down.
Yep.
Now, you've had some pretty good luck at card shows, if I remember right. You tend to get pretty decent cards for pretty decent price. I think, didn't you get a LeBron at one?
Yeah, I picked up a LeBron, and I haven't really shared the price, but
you don't have to. But I know you.
It graded a PSA 8, and I thought it had a pretty good shot at least an 8. And I paid $350 for it, and that was about a month and a half ago. So with its popularity soaring, so I knew I'd do pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
And then, I kind of like to play the market a little bit I don't like buying cards when they're expensive. That's a rarity for me. I would rather find the guys when they're fairly cheap still. And then, buy 100 of those cards and, then sell them and buy a really good card. It reminded me back in the late 80s, it was 88 or 89 when Cecil Fielder was hitting all those home runs. I remember going into my local card shop as, a teenager and buying every card they had, which was like 100 of his rookie cards. And then a month later, going back in when the newest Beckett came out and they were listed at $2 and selling them at $1 a piece. I was paying a nickel a piece for them. And that's how I built my collection.
Yeah.
I was able to buy Jordan rookies that way, and I wish I had them still. I don't; they're long gone. But that's how I was able to build my collection. So, those who are building on a budget, you can still do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just actually bought. Do you do any business on ComC? Do you buy cards on ComC?
I buy, but I do not sell. I guess. I've thought about it, but I've yet to sell. But I'll buy cards when I see them. So
see, I bought gosh, 12, 13, 14,000 cards on the site, and most of them are for my PC. But I've pretty much if you go and you click on football cards, and then once you get to football cards, you can sort them by team. The Vikings are near the bottom of the list, down by the Jaguars. I think they're right above the Jaguars, and the Vikings got 30, 40 years on the Jaguars as far as cards go.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing that they're down that low because I've bought a lot of the cards that they, I buy those rarer cards on there. But so I've expanded my buying, and I just bought 300 rookie cards of a guy from this year. At bottom of you buy at the bottom of the barrel prices, and they can do nothing but go up if something happens with them.
I'll say this, and I don't know who your guy is, but there's a guy with the initials JJ on the Vikings that I've been picking up quite a few of his cards at very reasonable prices.
It's not him.
No, this is a Viking. This is he plays for the football team.
He would never be buying it to resell it.
There's a Viking. That's my problem with Viking. I've got an amazing, you would say an amazing Teddy Bridgewater collection, right?
Yeah.
And his cards have dropped in price just in the last 3 weeks because he's just not throwing any touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
They're still a lot more than they were a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I was scooping them all up. But I have a hard time actually trying to sell cards.
That's where ComC comes in for him, though, because they're never in his possession if he doesn't get a delivery. So he just puts the price and it's good to go,
Yeah, that's the nice thing I love about ComC is you literally buy a card for, 50 cents and just slap $3.50 on it and wait for it to sell. Sometimes when it sells, it's like, oh man, his cards are going for $10, and I just sold it for. I put that high price on it whenever I buy it, and then forget to even change it whenever the guy explodes.
Sure. It's crazy, this market. I saw, what is his name, Brett Rippin.
Yeah. Did his price?
Oh God, they had to have.
I'm seeing there's a lot of interest, and
Yeah.
I pulled a few of his Prism, some of the the different color variations, and I thought, man, I missed out on this because he's probably not going to play good tonight. So or tonight or this whatever, but I probably had him for sale.
Right. The thing is, you have to be ready to do it too.
Sure.
If he goes out and throws for 303 touchdowns, you got to be ready to do it right now. Funny.
Yeah, the first time that I really noticed how a player's performance can just make his cards explode is when Stephon Diggs caught the Minneapolis Miracle.
Uh-huh.
And his cards were just going for buku bucks all week long. And then there's these people that had auctions ending after the NFC title game, and the Vikings absolutely stunk it up against the Eagles. And those cards, I was snagging up Stephon Diggs cards left and right after that game for opening bids, because so much bidding on eBay happens in the last 20 seconds of an auction.
Sure.
Speaking of that player, the JJ on the Vikings, his cards aren't going to be so cheap.
Last performance.
I'll tell you, I was watching a card. It was a low numbered card, but it was a buy it now, or a starting bid was like $45. I'm like, there's no way I'm spending he hasn't even done anything yet. And I'm like, and Lauren has plenty of Vikings receivers that have never done anything, that are just sitting in boxes.
Oh yeah.
Upon boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Upon boxes. Well, he did that, and now you can't touch that card for less than 90.
Yeah.
I was watching like several of them, and I'm like, I think I'm going to pick up a few of them just because. And then the game blew up. I'm like, well, there goes that chance.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 of them went off for like $90. I'm like, oh, it would have been like $20 before that happened. It's all good though. So speaking of crazy prices and crazy, just the hobby in general, we kind of did a Build-A-Box not all that long ago, and you kind of challenged us, and I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk about that a little bit before we think about wrapping things up. But we had an absolute blast doing the last one, and I think we decided on gold standard, huh?
Gold standard sounds good to me.
All right, 20.
Yeah,
Gold standard. The box, I think it was like $310.
Okay.
So I think we decided we're going to do a $50 Build-A-Box, right?
$50 Build-A-Box sounds great.
All right, all eBay purchases.
Yep.
Not including shipping.
Sounds good.
Or taxes, just whatever you get the card for.
Okay.
And so I think we looked it up, and it's 5 autos or mem cards and 2 base cards. So shouldn't be too bad. 7 cards. So I'm super excited. The last one was so much fun, and now we got to switch gears and get the elements out of our watch list and start looking at gold standard.
I do have another elements card coming that I'm pretty excited to hopefully show on camera here next week.
Right on.
It's so much fun to, like, even though there's no skin in the game, just the bragging rights and the competition. It always, it just added such a different element to the collecting.
Yeah, it's I think for me, opening packs is it's really underwhelming, not getting anything really that I want. I mean, I opened that Donruss hanger recently, and there's some cool cards in it, but nothing that was like, oh, I really wanted that one.
Sure.
And this Build-A-Box I think is just going to be a blast, and it's kind of making its way around, because now I watch people's videos and I was watching somebody's, I'm like, that was a nice box. This is going to make for a good Build-A-Box. And they just laugh. I'm sure it will.
Right on. I loved what you guys and Sam did. And I gotta say, that Morton Anderson, that won it for me. I'm a huge PC guy when I was growing up, and that Morton Anderson card was pretty cool. So
Yeah, I love his auto, man. That little smiley face. And,
Yeah, I've eyed up his card before, and I've always, because he's not a Viking, I've never bought one. And as soon as that came up and I saw that on, I'm like, here's my chance to buy. I have a reason to buy this Martin Anderson card. And yeah, I won that literally, I think, within 24 hours of us, the gauntlet being dropped with Sam.
So as the gauntlet big drops, can I go ahead and start buying tonight?
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, I think that we'll have to decide. It'll start as soon as we get off the phone here or off the interview. And what kind of time frame should we put? Just within a month?
Whatever's best for you guys. That's fine. What works good for you?
Yeah, I think just if we start looking now, you probably bid during the week. It might be a couple weeks before we get them all, and then put it all together. And
yeah,
that'd be so much fun.
Sounds good to me. So we're going through Halloween.
Yeah. How about that? First week of November, we'll unless it might go. Well, I got my 7 cards next Friday. So maybe we're be flexible. If you find your 7 and we find our 7, I'm sure we're not going to want to wait.
Yeah, if it goes anything like it did last time, we'll have our 7, but and we'll have like 20 by next week.
Yeah, we'll be sitting down. Which ones do we want to go with? Oh, so much fun. Yeah, and I think we can just do reveals on our individual channels, and then maybe post something to Instagram, and
yep,
that'll be fun. Yeah.
Should we put it up to vote again like we did with?
Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
Where I think Sam sent me his photos, and then I tried to make both the pictures look similar, so people can go, that looks like. We didn't want like people to have any kind of favoritism in the votes.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You guys have about 100 times the followers that I do, so I'll just send you the pictures. That's fair.
All right.
Yeah, and I got a little app that I create my photos with, give them a border and stuff, and then I'll send you all the photos, and then you can post them on your page, and we post them on our page. Sam's got everyone starts somewhere, and Sam's like, he dwarfs us.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and the voting is fun, but really I think we're the winners. We get to go have a blast trying to find the cards and get cards that maybe we wouldn't buy otherwise. I mean, it's really interesting.
Yeah,
totally agree.
I really like that card.
Yeah, I was a little sad that we lost, but honestly, it didn't even matter. It was just fun doing the whole process and posting it and sharing it and looking at the cards that we got too.
You betcha. Yep.
So we'll give you a minute if you want to tell people where to find you and all that fun stuff, and maybe we'll start bringing it to a close here. And we'll give you a minute or two here and all your social and what you got coming up. And
you betcha. Well, again, thank you guys. I really appreciate Fair Weather Cards. I'm just on YouTube, and fairly new channel. We started up I guess last spring, early summer, and I am on Instagram, same name, Fair Weather Cards. So right now that's the only 2 platforms that I'm putting anything on, but make sure you just stop by and say hi. I appreciate it. Love talking cards with people.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I'm really curious to see your card show. Hopefully you get some good footage and you put up something out. We're really looking forward to seeing that for sure.
Yeah.
You betcha. I'm thinking I'm going to try to grab a bunch of footage. So I'll break it up in 2, show a footage of the show itself, and then the second video will kind of show what I purchased. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Well, we want to really thank you for coming on, and we look forward to this little build a box challenge, and hopefully it grows a little bit. I think it'd be fun to have other people jump in and show us what they can do, and we'll see what happens.
I agree. This is an excellent idea, guys. Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thank you for doing it with us. So that'll bring episode 151 with Shawn at Fairweather Cards to a close. Thanks for joining us.
Skull Brothers out.